Hi, welcome back to Tech Careers Japan. I'm Aki from Shift, and today we have Shivangi from Wahl+Case as a consultant. Shivangi, could you explain yourself?
Yeah, of course. My name is Shivangi. I work in the client-facing engineering team at Wahl+Case. Yeah, happy to be here. Excited to talk to you today.
So, what is an IT consultant?
Right. So IT consultant is quite a broad term, I would say. But if I had to describe it, it would be someone who is a technical expert and is able to help people. So whether it's stakeholders or clients, they're able to help them with technology-related problems. That's how I would describe an IT consultant.
Cool. So, what are their key responsibilities?
I would say one of the main responsibilities is to really analyze the client's needs, um, especially with regards to their IT system, what can be improved or what can be maintained. If there are any problems, they might need to be able to solve that. So that involves a lot of research as well as kind of like a gap analysis. So they really need to understand, okay, this is the current state of the client, this is the future state where they want to be, and what are the steps that would be required in order to reach that future state, especially when it comes to the technical things. So yeah, that's how I would describe as the main responsibility, the key responsibility.
Thank you. So, what skills are essential for IT consultant working in Japan?
There are many different types of IT consultants, so hence the skills required would differ from each type. But some of the main skills could be in programming, and within programming, maybe something very specific like data analytics skills. So that would be SQL, SQL, Python, Java. And then if you're talking about cloud, then it could be AWS, Azure, as well as Google Cloud. And yeah, with cybersecurity skills, networking or infrastructure related IT skills as well would be counted.
Cool. So since you mentioned about this, so what are the different types of IT consultant and how do their roles are differ?
I guess based on the different domains that I mentioned, right? So there's the general IT consultant, there's the data and analytics related IT consultant, there's the cybersecurity related IT consultant, and cloud. So based on that, I think it depends on if they're going to be facing clients or whether they're going to be internal IT consultants. If they're facing clients, then of course they're going to be required to use Japanese to really understand the needs. And then if they're internal, it depends. Sometimes they do have to use Japanese. Sometimes they can work mainly in English, depending on the company. And yeah, so I would say you can divide them based on the domain or even industry actually, or internal versus external.
So are there any industry specific IT consultant roles that are in high demand in Japan?
Yeah, Japan is known for manufacturing. So I would say there's a big demand for manufacturing related IT consultants right now. So that would be like SAP consultants or even like C sharp, C related, IoT related consultants. And then telecom is one other industry, healthcare, financial services. I'm going to probably start naming like all the industries, but yeah, there's quite a few big industries coming up with manufacturing. Again, going back to that, like the AI chips. Japan is like one of the best places where there's been a lot of investment for manufacturing AI chips. So yeah, there's a lot of growing demand there as well.
Nice. So now I'm curious, how can someone start their career as an IT consultant in
Yeah,
Japan?
there's so many ways. I've seen people from all sorts of backgrounds get into IT consulting. For instance, the easiest path would be maybe when you're a developer and then you switch into IT consulting. When you're starting to be a part of those client discussions, that's a great way to kind of transition into the role. And then also, I've seen people from technical support backgrounds who now want to do a little bit more in terms of actually developing systems and not just maintaining them. So they go into IT consulting. I've seen people who had no IT background at all, but they, got some certifications, they picked up IT skills. And because they're really good, they have the really good soft skills to talk to clients, manage their expectations, and those kind of things, they're able to go into IT consulting as well. Product managers, project managers. Those are the main ones that I can see as the pathways to IT consulting. There's a lot of opportunities for sure.
Cool. So talking about opportunities, like what are the potential career growth, like opportunities of IT consultant in Japan?
Yeah, the biggest career step for an IT consultant is when they go into becoming a solutions architect. When they're really starting to see the high level of how things are working, technology-wise, IT-wise. So pre-sales or solutions architect would be the next big step. And pre-sales is interesting because you're going into more of kind of like a sales responsibility too. You're helping close new clients, but you're really important because you have to explain every single technical question that they have about the product, right? So that's not an easy job. There's a lot of documentation involved, RFPs, POCs. And so when you get to that level, I think you realize, okay, I've definitely taken a step up.
I see. Okay. Thank you. So what are some, I think you already mentioned, but what are some common tasks that IT consultant handling daily?
So I would divide it into like two phases. The first is understanding where the client is. That would involve doing some research, understanding what are the existing IT systems in place, and also understanding client parameters. What's their budget? What is their timeline? What is their biggest concern, and what do they really want to change with their existing processes? And then the second phase would be actually going back and discussing with more technical people, like starting to involve software engineers or developers, architects, database admins, coming together as a team and then figuring out, okay, this is the team that we need to put together to reach the solution that we want to implement.
Then now I'm curious, what's the typical salary range of IT consultant in Japan?
Yeah, it's quite a big salary range wise. I would say it starts anywhere between 6 and goes all the way until 18 if you're a pre-sales engineer or a solutions architect.
Wow.
But if you're like a mid-level IT consultant, it could be between 6 to 8 typically.
Wow, sounds like a dream job.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, then how important is Japanese language proficiency for IT consulting in Japan?
Very, very important for sure. If you're an external IT consultant, you will need a very fluent level. And if you're an internal IT consultant, also, you might need at least business level.
Even internal?
Even for internal, I think business is usually what I've seen clients ask for. But there could be companies, you never say never. There could be companies that are okay with just English only speaking IT consultants. But those are very rare.
Yeah, I was going to ask, is there any opportunity for, non-Japanese speakers as IT consultant? But you already mentioned. So let me go to the next question. So what are some common challenges for the IT consultant is facing?
With technology really evolving really fast, IT consultants have to really stay up to date with the latest. And, there could be skills that they've gained in one specific software or domain. And then they realize, they have to pick up a lot more skills in another domain. So they have to constantly be learning. And that would be, I guess, from from the learning point of view, like being able to actually do their job, the biggest challenge. But then there are other challenges. For example, people in IT, we imagine them like behind a computer, just like nerding out behind a screen. But as an IT consultant, you're really talking to a lot of stakeholders. So if you're shy or if this is new, I mean, it could be a challenge in the beginning. I've seen a lot of people who've switched into IT consulting recently that I've helped change jobs, and they tell me like it's a little bit challenging in the beginning to put themselves out there, really take initiative, take leadership in a situation if they're used to kind of being a little bit quiet and a little bit more passive. So that would be the second challenge.
Interesting. Okay, so yeah, since I asked you like their challenges, so let me ask you like their like opportunities. Like, what opportunities do they have? Like, what opportunities do you see for IT consultant in Japan?
Oh yeah, so many opportunities. I guess like every single industry that I can think of has a requirement for an IT consultant, just because technology is just a part of our lives now, right? And so we need those technical experts in many different steps of our processes and things. So yeah, there's many opportunities for IT consultants. Data migration projects are going on in Japan right now. That's big. Then there's people switching from SAP, the previous version, to the S/4HANA. That and then cloud, people going from legacy systems to cloud. There's so many different things going on right now. And then with AI, there's going to be even more.
So the last question. So what trends or like changes should aspiring IT consultant be aware of?
So one of the biggest trends I think they should be aware of is just the evolving technologies, any new patents or research that's being done in their specific domain, or even related domains would be helpful. And then in terms of challenges, maybe just being aware of competitors in each of those different domains. Maybe your company has these different competitors who are reaching out to similar clients. Just being aware of what their updates are as well in the market would be very helpful as an IT consultant.
So I think that's all I wanted to ask. So thank you for joining us today, Shivangi.
Thank you so much for having me.
And is there anything you wanna like add or you wanna comment?
Yeah, I guess I just want to say that if you're interested in any IT consulting positions, feel free to reach out to me, and thank you for listening in.